My name is Mohamed Gomaa and I am working as a judge at the Egyptian Court of Appeal. I would like to welcome you today at the IP and Legal Confex conference. It's really a great pleasure to be a part of such an impressive team of panelists, experts, and speakers. And also, I'm really delighted to discuss such essential and important subject about the technology and legal tech. Today I would like to focus on a certain point, which is the effect of the technology on the efficiency of legal and judicial systems. With the successive changes that the world witnesses day after day, many challenges aroused before the different sectors of the states, including the justice sectors. With the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, most institutions began looking for alternative solutions, non-traditional ones, to ensure the access and pursuance of their services in a time-effective and uninterrupted way. And one of those solutions is using the technology. I would like to mention as example that here in Egypt, many of the courts closed its doors in front of the citizens and people during the pandemic. So we discovered that we face a problem in our justice infrastructure. And that happened also in many countries. So the pandemic created a case of disturbance, and that lead to many decisions in this regard. For example, some countries decided to adopt legislations regarding the technology, and other countries like France started what's called the Digital Republic, and that means that it will change most of its sectors to be working with technology, including justice sector. And also, I would like to mention that the technology is one of the sustainable development goals of the United Nations, goal number 16. So the technology importance increased day after day. Of course, we know the benefits of the technology, which could be, for example, say that the advantages of the technology could be the accessibility, the facility, the cost saving, and also the efficiency. So once we talk about the efficiency, we should first know the meaning of the efficiency. It's one of the goals of the technology. So the efficiency means that to have the highest output with the same input, or to have the same output with the least inputs. So here, how the technology could achieve such efficiency. in the legal and judicial systems. If we ask the users, are you satisfied? They will say, no, I will not satisfied. For example, the judge will say that I dream of the day where I could find all of the data, all of the precedents on one portal. I could log in anytime from anywhere. And also the lawyer and also the user, claimant or defendant. And also the secretariat or the clerks at the courts. So the technology could achieve that, could affect on the efficiency. So here we can say that we deal with a service. A services, if we deal with a service or with a product, so we will have a producer and a user. The producer here is the judges, and the users here are the people. So we need to find a way to achieve the efficiency between both of them, which will be the technology. So we did a study in this regard. It's a data analysis for about 40 countries around the world which used the technology, and we make a comparison, between different periods of time. Once they started technology, increase the use of the technology until the highest percentages of using the technology in those countries. We made a regression for the data analysis, and we discovered that the technology achieved the efficiency in legal and judicial systems because, firstly, it could increase the clearance rate of courts. The clearance rate here means number of decisions issued by the court compared to the raised cases before the same court. Also, it could decrease the disposition time of the case solution. However, this from a side. However, the technology also not only affect directly on the efficiency, the other factors could affect indirectly on the technology, and the technology will affect on the efficiency. How is that? For example, the number of judges, the budget sacrificed for the technology, compared to the total budget of the justice, with the percentage sacrificed or allocated for technology. And the study here found that about 60% of the budget of the justice is sacrificed or allocated for salaries, and only 7% for technology. So we need to invest more in the technology. So there are other factors which affect this indirectly in technology and the efficiency and the performance, of course. From other side, we found also that the technology could affect on the access to justice positively. So it could facilitate and ease the access to justice, especially for marginalized people and also people live in rural places. However, to conclude in this regard, however, the technology also has disadvantages. We can mention that in many countries, in African countries, in some of Arab and Middle East countries, we need to training how to use such a technology to help people to improve the people knowledge about the use of the technology. Secondly, also many of the countries suffer from the bad connection, especially in rural areas. So people there couldn't log into their account. They couldn't use the technology in a best way to achieve its goals. So here, the cooperation between the ministries is indispensable. For example, the Ministry of Communication should be cooperate with the Ministry of Justice in this regard. Also, there is a fear from the technology in some countries because employees are fearing to be substituted with robots. And in China, for example, they started to use the robots as judges in some simple cases. However, the practice proved that it is difficult to use the robot judge in difficult cases, especially criminal cases. So the human part is essential and couldn't be substituted in some cases. Overall, I can conclude that we shouldn't fear from the technology, but we should know how to manage the technology in a way that achieves efficiency and improve the performance in any sector, and that will achieve, of course, the technology or the digital transformation goals. At the end, I would like to thank you very much again for such opportunity, and also I can't wait to share the wealth of knowledge